Can the Saiyan's thirst ever be quenched? Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now the one thing that we recognise the most about Son Goku in Dragon Ball is that of his strength, and his inclination to said strength. For the longest time, all he ever wanted to do is increase his strength, and actually that's still pretty much what he wants to do all the time. It's what pretty much makes up his character. In fact, Toriyama's deepest desire for Son Goku right at the start of Dragon Ball was to make him the most nondescript, generic, bland main character that he could ever come up with. If you think about it, Goku was more like a Persona protagonist than he is today. From the moment Toriyama put pen to paper, he would love to subvert conventional thinking and screw around with his audience, as well as his superiors, if you could get away with it. I always approached it as, do the opposite of the reader's expectations. So, with the Tenkaichi Budokai, I heard from my editor that I was getting a lot of postcards saying, Goku's gonna win, right? So I decided, I'll let Goku lose the championship then. That's my bad habit. Even at the very beginning, I started out by making Goku the most plain-faced main character I can think of. However, thanks to editorial meddling, something that would become all too common as Dragon Ball developed over the years, Goku became slowly more and more unique, much to Toriyama's annoyance. I gave him old-fashioned rounded eyes and such, but I was told by my editor things like, change the hair, so he started to stand out more and more. Even then, I was told, something's missing, how about adding a tail or something? He probably meant that as a joke, but I went along with it, thinking, if it's just a tail, why not? And so, Goku as he appeared in the serialization was born. Little did he know that Toriyama would then grow to hate drawing Goku's tail. You could then argue that the only thing generic left in Goku is his personality. He is a pretty one-dimensional character, he just likes to fight strong guys. Sure, he does have quirks which have evolved over time, like his lust for food and his naivety to the outside world and society in general, but these have all eventually been explained away. The first being his Saiyan origin. Saiyans have a high metabolism and they need to constantly eat, so Goku's massive appetite, although it may be strange to Earthlings, is pretty run-of-the-mill for Saiyans. The second is something that could happen to anyone if they weren't exposed to society and they were left on their own to fend for themselves. Hardly compelling and meaningful character facets now. This is Dragon Ball. Does it really matter? Well, not really. Oh yeah? Well, why is that then? We've got other characters to provide personality. There are tons of characters in Dragon Ball which do just that, and with great accomplishment. Dragon Ball is rich with different personas and moods. Goku doesn't have to carry the show all the time. There are plenty of other characters who could then just hold the fort for a short period of time. Consider Dragon Ball like a house. Goku is the foundation, and all the other characters are what makes a house a home. They are what make the show so appealing. The decor, the walls, the layout, etc. Everything that you would see comes from everyone else. If you took Goku out though, you would still have a dwelling, but the base would be kind of rocky and uneven, and then over time it would all just fall apart. Like if a bad guy just took over and trashed the place and Goku wasn't there. That happens whenever a bad guy comes along and Goku isn't there to save the day, but when he does come and save the day, he prevents the house from collapsing. Goku's really only good for fighting strong guys, but it's something that he is really good at. From the very first episode, it's pretty clear that Goku's life revolves around martial arts and getting stronger and improving himself physically. The rest of it was window dressing. His family, his friends, and his home, so long as they didn't get in the way of his training and him becoming stronger, then that was a-okay with him. If things got a little bit claustrophobic, then Goku could just escape for a while, or for almost a decade, as shown at the end of Z. He effectively bounced for an indefinite period of time. It's a pretty simple character model, but it does raise a question. Can Goku ever be fulfilled? Of course, he has done an incredible amount of stuff in his life. He has saved the universe multiple times, saved the Earth from countless foes, and become the strongest being in his universe who isn't a god. With every challenge he faced, Goku managed to find a way to overcome it, be it through a different technique, or just trying really hard. Yeah, you can call me jaded, but it's a pretty powerful perk. The Saiyan now is the same as he was when he was a kid. He doesn't care what happens in his life, really. all that matters to him is that he can fight strong guys, and if he can do that effectively 24/7, then he would be happy. He can get by without money or fame or even having a loving family. He managed to spend years living on his own, living off the land, doing his own chores, and actually including that in his training, which was kind of impressive. It all comes from his unorthodox intellect, because Goku is actually pretty smart, just in very different ways to modern thinking. I explain more of that in my video asking whether Goku is actually smart. You can check out the video in the description and up top. We like to question Goku's decisions throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball, but throughout the original series, Goku's actions have been pretty much beneficial for all of the cast. However, things started to get a little hairy when Goku became an adult. From the moment Goku gave Piccolo Jr. a senzu bean, all of his friends began to realize what they'd signed up for when they actually befriended the martial artist. Goku took a major gamble right there, a gamble concerning his safety and the safety of his friends, all for the sake of another chance to fight a pretty strong guy, who just so happens to be the offspring of your worst enemy who almost killed you twice? Piccolo, for all they knew, could have eaten the senzu bean, then killed Goku, then escaped, faster than blinking. This action right before Dragon Ball Z started kinda set a trend, one that Goku stuck to ever since and has constantly made fans question his allegiance. Toriyama reveled in this ambiguity and he would play it up whenever he could. In an interview he took part in with the voice of Goku, Masako Nozawa, it was quite clear that the two had different views on what made Goku tick. Nozawa pictures Goku as the innocent country bumpkin he always has been and, in her mind, always will be, whereas Toriyama is a little more sinister. I wanted him to have the sense of being that rare guy who seeks only to become stronger than before, so much so that it feels like there's no one as pure as this person. And while he does end up saving everyone as a result of that, he himself at least has a very pure sincerity about wanting to become stronger. What I wanted to depict the most was the sense that he might not be a good guy at all, although he does do good things as a result. In the eyes of his creator, Goku is only described as a good guy because all of his actions, or at least most of them, yielded positive results. It was quite clear that Goku was really more of just an honest guy, who would then be quite clear that all he wanted to do was fight strong guys. So yeah, hardly a bastion for the world of good. But if a bad guy were to show up and disrupt the status quo, Goku would simply adore this because hey, it's a new guy, he's pretty strong, I want to fight him. Along the way, Goku might allow his rival to reach their full potential, or allow them to escape so that they can come back later and fight again, and then Goku would have another challenge. Pretty much what Goku did with Vegeta, Frieza, and Majin Buu to a lesser extent. Over the years, Goku has increasingly made more irrational decisions just for the sake of a good fight. He let Frieza reach his full power, he gave Cell a senzu bean when he was fighting Gohan, just so that means that their fight was fair. And he placated to Vegeta's desire to have another fight during the Majin Buu saga, even though it ran the risk of Majin Buu being resurrected. And then not even being honest with Vegeta about the fact that he could go Super Saiyan 3 and trans Vegeta. He was just playing along, just to have a decent fight. But the icing on the cake, though, is the most recent transgression. The Tournament of Power. You know the lyric from the new opening, I can't get no satisfaction? Yeah, that pretty much sums up Goku. He cannot get any satisfaction with his lot, especially in Super. He has bested everyone in Universe 7, matched the likes of Hit of Universe 6, and the gap between him and Beerus is ever decreasing. He hasn't really got a goal anymore. That is until he remembers that little idea that he and the Omni King had back in the Universe 6 arc. A tournament which included every strong fighter in every single universe ever. Yeah, surely there could be fighters out there he's never seen before and he could do battle with. Some of them might be as strong as him, or maybe even stronger than him. Oh yeah, what about the fact that the Omni King is just an irrational child and his future self is just as much of a maverick? It's all good. What about Beerus, the god of destruction, being absolutely terrified at the idea and doesn't want anyone to do such a thing because it could destroy all the universes? Don't worry about it. It's okay, Goku can take care of it. He gets to fight strong guys after all. Then we've got the universal destruction dealie. Something that Goku never really registered throughout the bulk of the universe survival arc. It didn't really occur to him that all he knew, enjoyed, and partook in could potentially be wiped out, including himself. That is until Universe 9 was erased by the Omni Kings in the tournament, and then all of reality then hit upon Goku immediately all at once. Goku's prior actions had been somewhat justifiable, and then they were ultimately resolved because hey, everything turned out okay, right? Yeah, don't worry about it. But this one? This one is incredibly irresponsible. It sent the entire fandom and the cast into a tailspin. Yeah, you could argue that Goku's actions kind of saved a universe from destruction, and the gods and the Kais actually do point that out. But just the whole renegade attitude he had with the Omni King and going above everyone else, not even taking their thoughts into consideration, that's kind of a big no-no. Even if Universe 7 came out of this unscathed and then with the wish on the Super Dragon Balls wished every other universe back, his relationship with his friends and everyone else would be considerably different, in a negative way. In their eyes, Goku's just an insatiable monster who will stop at nothing just for the sake of a fight. Who's to say that Goku wouldn't pull a similar stunt in the years to come? Sure, he could go back to the likes of Universe 11 and fight Jiren again, or go to Universe 6 and try and best hit, but eventually, all those things would then grow stale. Even those would become tiresome, and then Goku would wish to actually fight someone who is stronger than them. It's going to be inevitable, we know that that will happen. It all comes back around to Goku's one-note desire to fight strong guys. For decades, his friends were able to just look past this and justify it by saying, oh, it's okay, Goku's really strong, but he's on our side, right? Because all of our enemies are now our friends or they're dead, and that was all thanks to Goku? Yeah, he may be a bit of a renegade in that regard, but hey, we're all right now, that's the main thing. After the Tournament of Power, that doesn't really look that easy to justify anymore. Goku vicariously volunteered his friends for the Tournament of Power and put Universe 7 as well as 7 other universes in jeopardy, just so that means he could punch someone from another universe. Then again, the cast are so enamored with Goku at this point that their entire relationship they have with him might be akin to Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, he jeopardizes all of life, but you just don't understand, man. You just don't get him. Goku's not so bad once you get to know him. Right. In the end, Goku's lust for fighting dominance will never be satisfied. But honestly, that's alright because this is a television show. That kind of outlook works. This means that the subject matter will find new ways to evolve their strength and have new characters and worlds come into play. You could throw new peril in our faces for years to come. From a character's point of view though, it's getting harder and harder to explain Goku's recklessness. So what do you guys think? Do you think Goku will ever be content? Do you think there's more that he could pursue? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later.